Hi everybody and welcome to our weekly program Not Impossible. I am Saud Mahmoud, will be your host for this exciting and entertaining program. In this episode, we will talk more and more about our guest, about tuberous sclerosis has affected her life. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be seeing the report together, so please stay tuned for an exciting episode.
Basma is a young Saudi lady who was born with a systemic disease affecting many parts of her body. It causes abnormal growth of benign tumors or fibroids, which causes her cell to lose its function. In Basma's case, her brain and eyes were affected, leaving her with cognitive challenges, epilepsy, and visual limitations. Ironically, Basma was able to gain a certificate in digital photography by Dr. Asa Ngawi. Basma leads a normal life and fully independent. She is a member of many welfare societies and works as a part-time basketball coach. Her mother, Saud Kandeel, who graduated as a behavior psychologist for teenagers, says that the secret behind Basma's success is that her rehabilitation plan is designed to improve her quality life. It serves her needs and respects her limitation. Basma's home is highly structured to be accessible, functional, and organized. It reflects her success and distinction achievements.
The biggest challenge of Basma that she insists to be a photographer. The first time I introduced her with her mother, Madame Sa'ad, I found out that Basma, she need to have a very interest and a very big issue to transfer her or to make her happy by this photographer hobbies. I study and make a plan how to make Basma a photographer.
Hi again and welcome back to our weekly program Not Impossible. So that was a report about our guest for today's episode who doesn't know the impossible. Our guest for today's episode is a 32 years old Saudi girl who suffers from tuberous sclerosis. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give our welcome to our guest for today's episode, Miss Basma Khamis Al-Nahdi. Assalamu alaikum, Basma.
Alaikum assalam.
And also joining us on this episode, Mrs. Saud Kandeel, who is a quality of life instructor and behavior programs specialist for teenagers. So let's give our welcome to Mrs. Saud Kandeel. Assalamu alaikum, Mrs. Saud.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Our viewers at home, let's take a look at this video with public opinions and then we'll be right back to Not Impossible. There are much more excitements coming up.
Impossible.
Impossible.
If she has the right support and the right medication.
Or impossible or possible?
I'd say it's possible, yes.
Nothing impossible.
Nothing's impossible.
Impossible.
Hi again, dear viewers. So that was the input from the public. Okay, Basma, what is the challenge in your life?
أول شيء الدكتور فهمني إنه
First thing, the physician made me understand that I have classification in the nervous system. Secondly, I need to take 15 tablets of medicine to control my convulsions. Thirdly, I'm suffering the difficulty of hearing. And fourth, the medicine caused me drowsy.
What is the secret behind your courage?
أول حاجة
The first thing I can add for my sickness. Second, Allah my God loves me. He gave me lots of blessings and benevolence and many physicians that encouraged me and explained to me how I was able to challenge these difficulties.
Okay, very good. Okay, Madam Saad, why is Basma our hero today?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين. I would like to welcome our viewers and address my special thanks for the Saudi TV channel 2 for giving me this chance to share my success story with Basma, our hero today. Basma was born with a complex disease, as you mentioned, called tuberous sclerosis. It's a genetic disorder, and it is not contagious, and it affects all body cells internally and externally. What happens is the cell becomes fibroid, so it loses its function, and it varies from one patient to another, and it is not curable, and it is progressive.
Progress. Okay, how and when did you find out about her challenge?
When she was born, she had white spots on her skins.
Okay,
I later knew they are called café au lait, and they were puzzling me. But as a baby, I've noticed she doesn't know how to feed. She chokes with her milk. She has a sleeping problem, and she cries constantly. And at the age of 4 months, she started involuntary movements,
okay,
which her pediatrician did not really, he was doubting it.
okay.
But then at the age of 4, I was taking a family picture, and the flash triggered the seizures.
Okay,
So I had to actually argue about her diagnosis, and that picture proved that she has epilepsy. At the age of 2, we took her to Stanford University,
okay,
and she was seen there, and we got a diagnosis.
okay, that's very good. Okay, back to you, Basma. Basma, how do you feel about other people with a special need or with, let's say, disabilities?
أوكي أول حاجة إنه مرة
First, I really felt sorry about them. I'm so lucky. I'm living a normal life. Second, they have to be patient with their sickness, and always we should have hope.
What is your biggest challenge in your life? The biggest challenge in your life?
أوكي التحدي إني
First, the challenge is that when my mother came back from America and I returned to her custody after an absence of 14 years, and I thank Allah, oh my God, then my uncle and Mrs. Noor al-Sheikh and everyone used to ask me, what's your name? And I reply by saying my name is Basma al-Jamila. My mother used to teach me many things. She was always assuring to me that I'm able and I could do.
Excellent, excellent. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Very good. Okay, back to you, Madame Saad. How did her complex diagnosis affect her life?
She did not follow the normal milestone of other children. She talked age of 4. She walked age of 4. So I had to carry her all these years.
Okay,
Behavior problems, feeding problems, seizures. She had to go through a 5 years program of rehabilitation, which denied her the right to be in a normal kindergarten. But I would say later on, it affected her in a way that she cannot finish her education. It affected her quality of life, because medication has side effects also with memory and obesity. you have liver problems. That is one. The day-to-day life, Basma needs assistant all the time.
Okay.
Because she cannot, if you don't train her on daily basis, after 6 weeks, after 6 months, she will not have the sequence of events to start something and go from A to B to C.
Okay.
So memory is a big challenge.
I see.
Psychological symptoms that has to be controlled with not medication only does not help it. You have to always put some kind of activity that will keep her busy and it makes sense to her. Otherwise, the gaps in her day can affect her.
You know, Madam Saad, if I didn't know Basma, it would be very difficult for me, really, to know that Basma face any difficulties. For example, difficulty for learning or etc. To me, according to me, Basma is almost a normal person, honestly.
Thank you.
No, honestly, I mean, I'm talking like any person maybe you can see in the street. Okay, what were the most challenging factors in her life?
Being a child with special needs, she could not communicate with or relate to the social life of other children. She had very poor social skills.
Okay.
And that really affected her quality of life.
Okay.
Basma is very sensitive to changing her environment, and that have to the extent that when she was a baby, if you change the place where you feed her, she will not eat, because this disease has some kind of autistic features in it.
Somehow, I see.
Somehow, but I would say it's the side effects of the medication. Seizures are an issue, but now they're controlled since 8 years. The fact that there are no services for her after the age of 13 or 14. She has no job, she has no school to go to, she has no gym to go and practice. This kind of isolation is a big challenge for Basma. And the only way I was able to change that fact is to make her join a basketball team where she is now the assistant coach.
Very good. Okay.
So basically, I don't think she has a challenge right now.
Okay.
I think she's doing very well. I'm very proud of her.
I see. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Okay, that's really very good, very good. Okay, back to you, Basma. What are the skills that you can master very well? Just give me some of the skills that you feel that you can be a master.
اوكي اول حاجة اتدربت.
I was trained to go to the market by myself and was trained how to maintain personal care. I have a pro certificate on photography and secretarial certificate, and I know how to deal with the internet and networks and how to cook. Thanks Allah, I know many things.
Okay, Basma, what do you think of your mom's idea to have a club for teenagers? Do you like these ideas?
طبعا اكيد عجبتني الفكرة.
Okay, very
أول حاجة إنه
I like the idea, especially that I can see my friends and we eat popcorn together, in addition to the team of basketball that makes us know new girls.
Okay, Madam Saad, how is Basma surviving all these challenges on her daily life?
Well,
in general.
There is no secret, but there is hard work.
All right.
There is a big team of medical doctors, neurologists, psychologists, psychiatrists, and Basma is now under assisted living system, like what they call halfway house.
Okay.
The best thing for someone like Basma to improve and live a semi-normal life or almost a normal life is to structure their environment. by making everything accessible, making it visual so they can reach it and they don't have to look for anything. Safety is something that you have to structure in that environment. And once you put the behavior plan for her and her daily routine that she has to follow up, that becomes just a habit. It's training her to do what everybody does every day.
Like a routine.
It's a routine, and
All
she has
right.
a chart at home. And by reinforcing her, giving her reward of her choice,
Okay.
she is motivated. The key word in all that is how you motivate the client.
Okay. All right.
How do you make your plan make sense to them? Or in other words, it's called consumer-based.
I see.
So she made the plan of her life.
Okay.
8 hours of sleep, 8 hours of work,
Mashallah,
and
that's very good.
8 hours of leisure. And she decides the rewards. She decides the activity, not me. So that's why she's motivated to go on in her life.
MashaAllah, very good. Okay, what are the secrets behind Basma's rehabilitation plan? And how does this differ from the traditional rehabilitation?
It is very different.
All right.
This plan is called quality of life plan. The key word is it uses the holistic approach, and it is based on Basma's interest, needs, limitation, fears. She defines whatever goes into that plan, and applying it is also it's of Basma's choice. The traditional plan, it's really into academic. Basma's math skills is up to what she needs. If she needs to count until 20, that's what we give her. So
I see.
it is based on the need. It's not a curriculum that you apply to, and it's based on an actual family home environment.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Okay, back to you, Basma. What was your biggest victory in life?
اوكي اول حاجه اول انتصار اني انا رجعت.
Biggest victory for me is that I come back to my mother, and also I'm very happy that my uncles are giving me much support, and I have been graduated from a best center. In addition, I thank Allah that I'm living normal life just like other people, and always my faith in Allah is great, and I constantly pray to Almighty Allah.
Okay, back to you, Madam Saad. Any message you would like to convey to public, to anyone? What sort of message you would like to convey?
Well, basically, I could tell any mom it is not impossible. There are limitations, but if you as a mom or a parent accept the difference and have the wisdom between what you can change and what you can't change, life becomes easier.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Okay, Basma, what is your plan in the future?
طيب اول حاجه لازم اخذ شهاده حقت.
I must get a certification in computer sciences and English language, and I must have a gallery for my artworks, and I have to prove that I represent a role model for people, especially because I used to attend many conferences, and through the story of my success, people must know what shall I do for the future and how I'm living my daily life. Moreover, what are the challenges I'm facing?
Basma, do you still take some lessons from Dr. Isa Angawi?
Thank to Almighty Allah that I have been graduated from photography, and Dr. Isa Angawi has granted me much support and assistance and guided me in the field of photography, especially when I was accepted in Jeddah Heritage Society. Every Thursday we used to go to certain place. Frankly, photography needs too much focus and concentration.
And with this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of our episode for today. Last but not least, on your behalf, I would like to thank our guests who joined us today in the studio and making this an even more exciting program. Let's give a big hand to everyone in the studio, including our brilliant director, Amina Abdul Karim, and the crew who are providing an amazing support to make this an enjoyable program. Don't forget to join us next week, same time, same station. And until we meet again, it's a goodbye.